Hi everyone, welcome to this course on Arnold Renderer. So you might be wondering, what is Arnold Renderer and why would I use it? Well, the main reason to use Arnold is because it's used in most of the big visual effects houses and animation companies to create their final images. So things like Star Wars and many others will use Arnold Renderer to render their final images. There are multiple other renderers out there, and of course they do use them, things like RenderMan, for example. But Arnold has become more popular in recent years is because it's much easier to use in terms of the user setup. So for the artist, it's much easier to use because it does everything properly. So it does everything using ray tracing and path tracing and Monte Carlo sampling. And basically that means that as a user, if you put in a light, for example, it's going to bounce that light around by default. It's not going to fake that, and you don't have to set any settings for that. So it's doing everything properly. So it's much easier to use, and the computer will do all the work for you. So at the end, it does take a little bit longer to render, but the computer is doing all the work. So you just have to leave it on the farm or wherever you're going to render it, and it will render the final image. So those are the two main reasons to use Arnold. It's used by lots of big companies, so it's very good to use as a skill to get a job, and also it's very easy to use in terms of setup time, so the user doesn't have to spend lots of time setting up pre-passes, things like shadows or cache files, which we previously had to do for different renderers. You don't have to do that. It doesn't use as much disk space as well because it's calculating everything, so you don't have to create lots of pre-passes. So let's get on with it and start off with using Arnold.